Okay, hello everyone. First of all, sincere apologies for not uploading anything or not doing anything or adding any kind of content. Reason for that is because I lost my nerve and I was super just scared and just being lazy and procrastinating. I'm not going to fix the angle. I know it's slightly bent, and because once I start doing that and start perfecting things, then I will really lose my nerve. Okay, so I want to discuss a little bit about how we've, pretty much all of us, most of us have sort of had some kind of bad upbringing, or we've had some kind of, terrible childhood. And so what I really want to talk about today is the past. And you feel now nothing's going right in your life. Now, because nothing's going right, you somehow associate it to because things have gone bad in the past, therefore things will never be going right for me, or hence why things aren't going right for me. And then you put it down to, well, I'm not possibly lucky, or I've always had, bad things always happen to me. And, we start putting on labels. Sometimes a lot of bad things do happen, okay? And we're not denying that. However, they are not in your control. They really aren't. So whether it's been someone sadly has been a victim of child abuse, or someone has been a victim of bullying, or someone has come across a domestic abuse, or whatever it may be, it's not in your control. I mean, think about it. If it had been in your control, would you really throw yourself into a flame? When I say flame, I mean technically into the situation. No, because you would rather be happy and merry rather than be a victim of abuse. Now, moving on. Now that we've acknowledged that we don't have control of what happens to us, but what we do have full control about is our mindset and our attitude and how we choose to respond. You see, this is something we have full 110% control. This is something we can ultimately control no matter what the situation. For example, you have two twin sisters. So both of them not only experienced emotional abuse, psychological abuse, they had financial issues, living in a very poor background. They lacked many essential, they had financial struggles, and there was physical abuse, sexual, verbal, all sorts of abuse that you can think of, alongside with the neglect aspect of things. So they didn't have a great childhood. But having said that, twin A decided to take one route and twin B decided to take another route. Both have suffered from neglect. They've had an abusive childhood and so on and so forth. However, one chooses to take the path where she starts taking drugs, she starts drinking, she starts doing all sorts, and she's completely off the rail. Whereas the other one, she chooses to start making something of her life, and she starts healing and understands what's happened. She's acknowledged it, she's not denied it, and she has steered her energy to do something and put this power and this force behind getting a better education or excelling in her career, etc. So now that we've defined that two people, same situation, we can actually change it. So where the choice really is actually ultimately in your hands. Yes, you may not have all the tools and all the techniques perhaps, or all the information in order to heal and become better. However, you do ultimately have complete responsibility in how you choose to act. So whether you choose to be a warrior or a warrior. So it's up to you whether you choose to become a victim or whether you choose to become victorious. Like I showed about the small example of the two twins, one twin decided to take to drugs and get off the rails, whereas the other twin decided to do something with her life. So when you've had past failures and losses, we are convinced and wired that that's the way it will be, and there's no other way. It also takes a huge courage and it takes great strength to change the pattern. However, but a strong change to believe that things will change. Start taking responsibility for our own actions. You see, by doing this, we are constantly and forever going to be a victim in our own excuses. Yes, things that have happened in the past aren't great, possibly, which I'm not denying. However, you must also understand that they are not in your control. But what is in your control now is how you choose to behave and how you choose to react. See, sometimes all this baggage, what that does is not only does it actually hold you down, it's so heavy and stops you growing and it stops you excelling. It hinders your ability to soar in any spheres of your life. In order to move forward, understand and acknowledge what's happened has happened. It is what it is, but it's in the past. You cannot change that. It is in the past and you can't change that. I mean, whatever it may be, and I'm sorry, whether it may be a loss or a loved one, or you've lost a lot of wealth financially, or it could be, again, whether it may be abuse or psychological issues, whatever it may be, what can you do about it now? Really, what can you do? Apart from wallowing and feeling sorry for yourself or pouring your heart out and crying, there is nothing you can do, absolutely zilch you can do to change the past, because it's happened. This was a chapter in your life that has now closed. So acknowledge it. If you need help and if you need professional mediums, get the support, but deal with it now. Okay, do not wait any longer. You really need to deal with it. If you're still hurt and the wound is still aching and the wound is still open and raw, even as you speak about it today, then you need to seek professional help. You need to seek whether help and advice related to your specific issue. Okay, next, start practicing gratitude. I know this may be something that's completely off the topic, but it's actually not. It's actually really, really relating. But what you want to do is, when you start practicing gratitude, although you may feel you have nothing to be grateful for, your pain may be still very raw and the suffering might still cause emotional hurt, you must still realize that today, the fact that you're standing, a breath of fresh air, you are blinking, your vision, the heart that's pumping within you, you still say you don't have nothing to be grateful for. As we speak, there are many people around the world. We may even have some friends, neighbors, relatives that are suffering from diseases. They only have a few days numbered to see and be with their loved ones. So we're not in that situation. So we have every reason to be grateful for. Seek other real role models, whether it be your neighbor or someone you know, whether it may be friends, colleagues, or it could even be biographies or people you look up to, but who have gone through something similar to yourself. So whether you have suffered racial abuse, look to people possibly of coloured skin, the ethnic minority, or read their books. A great biography is by Malcolm X, where he discusses racism in great depth and how he overcame it. The reason for looking for these role models is so you can emulate and model how they overcame these trials and tribulations. The fact that they have dealt with these issues, they have overcome it, it's evident, and this has proven to you that so can you. Just as they are a human being, so are you. They are not a superhero, but they are a human being. If they can overcome it, so can you. Stop holding on to the past. Start excelling forward regardless of your past. By achieving things, you will start propelling forward, as this will give you a heightened self-esteem. And once you realize that you can overcome small, tiny obstacles, this will give you the strength to actually overcome bigger ones. If these people, whether it may be historic figures or people that are very close to you, whether it may be friends and relatives, if they can overcome these obstacles, then so can you. And I say this with full conviction. Anyway, I'd like to take this moment to really thank you for tuning in and for watching. I hope that this was of some value and it provided some helpful steps. Please continue to subscribe and watch, as this will help me to constantly be on my toes and to provide more content and to continuously strive to become better, in order for me to also provide daily and regular value. Thank you so much once again, and this is Alifa Begum from Alifa Begum Official. Thank you. Bye bye. Peace.